Before white settlement, traditional owners successfully managed Australia's fisheries for tens of thousands of years. Over that time, they developed a deep understanding and connection with their country and sea country. This cultural connection and traditional knowledge is now recognised as a valuable asset to help improve the sustainable management of Australia's fisheries. The aim of this video series is to demonstrate to Aboriginal and Torres Straits peoples the importance of getting involved in fisheries management, and as an introduction to some of the important information used to ensure sustainable fisheries.
We need to keep our culture alive, and that would come first. And then, as far as I'm concerned, my duty is to look after this place in my country, and so my kids can enjoy this, and their kids can enjoy this. And without the way it's going now, my kids are not going to enjoy this. My grandkids' kids are not going to enjoy this unless we change and look after the country. If we can do that with our resources here and fisheries, win-win for all.
I think it's really important that Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islanders are involved in fisheries management. The fact that we've been here for 60,000 plus years, we've got all this knowledge to bring to the table, but it's also just that connection to country and the passion to want to be able to, be involved in looking after the place.
Traditional ecological knowledge is crucial. It's linking traditional science with Western science and how we bring that together. There's stories to be told and stories to be shared. I liken it as a shared resource, shared country, shared story. And I think we could learn from one another in terms of how we manage Australia's fish stocks going forward by integrating ancient knowledge like traditional ecological ancestral knowledge into Western science in managing our fishery.
How Australian Aboriginals and Victorian Aboriginals, particularly where I am from, get involved with fisheries management is critical. It gives a voice to their people, to their wants and aspirations. It also helps facilitate a process with government, reminding them of their obligations to engage where they have that policy in place and to reach the outcomes their communities need.
I think Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people need to get more involved in the contemporary side of fisheries management because we've got so much history in the customary or traditional management of fishery. We still have a real strong connection to our sea country, so we've got a lot more things happening around now in the fishery that we don't have a say over, whether it be recreational, commercial fishing, any other things that happen in the sea country that might impact on the fishing stocks.
First step for getting involved in fisheries management is finding somebody whom you're comfortable with within this space. Fisheries has taken an evolution over the past 20 odd years where more and more Indigenous people now are actually employed within each of the jurisdictions for fisheries. So one of the first steps is get to know your Indigenous liaison officer or program manager within fisheries. If they don't exist within fisheries, then get to know your fisheries managers and sit with them and talk to them around your interest and what value you can actually bring to the table in your involvement in fisheries management committees.
The first tip for Indigenous Australians wanting to be involved in fisheries is just follow your passion. So there's people that will be involved and passionate about fishing. There'll be people involved in other land aspects. And I think following on those things through your own organisations or outside your organisations, through opportunities that exist, follow those offers that come up. And a lot of government agencies, for example, the fisheries will make those offers available for you to participate, and I think really encourage you to take those steps and you'll learn not only the technical side of things, but you can also learn the policy side of things and the progressing of project management type of stuff as well, which can sort of more can benefit the skills that you have in delivering the outcomes that you're after.
There will be some barriers when Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people try and step into that contemporary management. The main ones will be that there's generally a lot of people in the fisheries contemporary side of things that don't understand what Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander connections are. I think that's going to be a key one. The other one will be just understanding the science decisions around these things and how that science might be different to our own traditional science. But we've also got our spiritual connection, and it's trying to work out how that could fit in a contemporary aspect, but then try and make sure that the contemporary side of things can work across both of those areas as well.
There's going to be people after you, and there has been people before you that are going to be scared to stand up and do the same thing that you're about to do. So it's probably, take it on. Don't be afraid of organisations that mightn't be in touch with Indigenous side. Be the person to step up and get them in touch with that Indigenous side, that Indigenous community, for sure.
But the hard part will be when things start getting tough, when they start challenging what your views are that might not necessarily match to what contemporary management is. It's stick it out for the long ride, is that sometimes decisions will go against what you believe in, but what you've got to think about too is voice your concerns around that so that it's not silent. Don't be scared about doing that. The other part that I found when I was in that similar role was that, you know, my integrity was not with the government agency as a fisheries manager. My integrity was with Aboriginal people. So at the end of the day, if I lost my job as a fisheries manager, my integrity to go back and work with Aboriginal people in that community was utmost important, because then they would have seen that I stuck by what our strong beliefs are.
If you're doing the best that you possibly can, no one can hold you back. And then if that's not meeting what you think you need, try a little bit harder. Be passionate about your country. Get an education and work to make your country better for everyone.
We've got a lot of things that are impacting on what's happening in our fishery, in our area. We can't continue to let other people make decisions around those things, particularly if we want to maintain what we have connection to our own customary fishing. To continue that, we need to start being more involved in the contemporary side of decisions.
All you young mob, get out on country and look after it, like our mob's done for thousands of years. So learn your stories and get out there and go do it.